Hi, my name is Joanna, and I wanted to share my experiences with having gestational diabetes for two of my children. And I want to share 4 tips and tricks that I learned that helped me control my gestational diabetes through my diet and lifestyle. So the first thing is being active. And if you're seeing a dietitian or an endocrinologist, that is one of the things that they are telling you. But I'm going to tell you, be active and create a goal. So my goal was always to be active 4 times a week for at least 20 minutes. Sometimes those 20 minutes were really intense workouts. Others was just a quick 10-minute walk out and 10-minute walk back just to get my exercise in. You'll notice that if you are being more active, that your blood sugars are staying more controlled. My second tip is to choose your carbs wisely. And what I mean by this is when you are going places or you're preparing your meal in the evening, know what's all going to be on your plate and try to portion out where do you want to eat more of your carbs. If you are planning on having dessert later, which is okay with portion control, make sure that you're not eating a lot of carbs for your dinner. One thing that always helped me is that like if I was at a party and I knew I wanted to have a piece of cake, I would make sure that my meal consisted of a lot of veggies and meat and protein, and then I was able to enjoy that cake later because I didn't eat I fill up on my carbs just with my initial plate. My third tip is to be aware of outside factors. This was one thing that always really was hard for me to understand until I had my second child and had gestational diabetes. You can do everything you can to have, eating the perfect amount of carbs, being active, and sometimes your blood sugar's just not going to be at where it needs to be. And those outside factors are stress and traveling, being outside of what you're used to. That can always fluctuate your blood sugar. And I used to get really down on myself for those types of situations, but just use them as learning experiences. Jot that down in your notes if you're having to keep track of your blood sugars in your diet, of what was going on that day. So it can kind of help you justify, because you're not always going to have a perfect blood sugar. And that is okay as long as you don't see a consistent trend of it. My last tip is for going out to eat. So my husband and I really don't go out to eat very often, but I found that anytime I went out to eat, I could not control my blood sugar until we had our one trip out and I found the ticket that helped. What I would do if we would go out to eat is I would order something that contained minimal carbs. And I know this can be really difficult because you don't really know exactly what they're putting in the meal. But picking something that was high protein, so having salmon or chicken, and then choosing a salad, having nothing that's deep fried, because usually if you ate something deep fried, you'd be going over your blood sugar. And then if I still had that craving of wanting something that was deep fried or wanting a little piece of dessert, I would share it with my husband, or I would have pieces of what he ordered. So I would eat my meal that would be very diabetic friendly, low carb, so consisting of protein and usually vegetables. And then I would dabble into his plate a little bit, maybe having a few French fries, or we would order a piece of dessert, and then I would split it or take a little less than half. And then I was usually able to control my blood sugar that way. I hope these 4 tips help you to be successful in your diet-controlled gestational diabetes journey. You got this, and I am proud of you for making it this far. Remember, you are doing this for your baby, and I wish you all the love and blessings going forward in a successful birth.